Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to some more Let's Play Aeon of the Sands. In the last episode, we began playing the game. We've discovered that our protagonist here, Citrani, is a clerk who must do something meaningful, clerk stuff, whatever that entails, for the city of Pentella, which is an interesting city in and of itself, being underneath and within the boughs of a gigantic tree, sitting in a desert and covered by a massive glass dome to protect it from the winds. The tree is one of the only things which is providing shade, and thus is a good spot for the people of this world to exist under and or within. He was doing his normal clerk stuff, which apparently involves lots of napping and not doing very much, when he was dragged before the Brown Leaves. One member in particular, Cosmio Smith. The Brown Leaves, I'm guessing, are the leading council or government of this city. And they have tasked Citrani with locating a missing caravan. Apparently, its disappearance is causing a bit of commotion, and they want to discover proof that this caravan has been disappeared without any fault of their own. It was supposed to reach another city, whose name I can't remember, and who the narrator told us is not important. It's just a plot device, a MacGuffin, in order to have Citrani perform his task. So, there you have it. In any case, before we get out into the desert, the guard sitting outside of that office escorted us down to what's called the Underroots. In this cave system, beneath this gigantic tree, we are looking for a sand suit and a rebreather mask in order for us to survive what's awaiting us out in the desert. So, that's what we are going to do. So, we have been adventuring through the Underroots at the moment. We've talked a bit about the gameplay, you've seen how the game is played now, and we've explored the first floor, and now we are in the second floor and just finished this area up as well. I guess, as I've been doing, you can quickly see my character's stats here. We've been doing quite a bit of meleeing, a little bit of magic, and have only recently began whipping out that slingshot, the sling we've got, to do some ranged attacks on enemies, and are slowly beginning to improve those traits. For our equipment, I guess I'll just hover over these all these really quickly so you guys can see. Just in case you guys are curious about what my build or equipment currently is. Alright, and that's it. Before we go further, I want to quickly mention one more thing about this game, in particular this Underroot starting area. The Underroots, from the about 8 times I've now done it, are exactly the same whenever I've stepped into this. And so, assuming you know where everything is in the Underroots, if you're going to play this game multiple times, and I still have not beaten the game at this point in it, I would recommend you make a save file before you exit the Underroots. This way you don't feel obliged to do this again. Unless, of course, you want to practice or to reread anything, but you probably save yourself a little bit of time. Alright, so with all that said, let's venture down to the next level. The air is dry here. These Underroots are old. Alright, we've been fighting rats with our secret dagger, our cheese knife, effectively. Alright, whew, that was close. And immediately we can see a change this far down. The roots themselves are not as present in the ceiling and floor, although we see them now embedded in the earth around here, and there's less rock, more roots and earth, in fact. We can hear something large moving around behind this, which seem to be the doors down here, by the way, according to the mini-map. The roots intertwined in this door seem to slowly move. That's good. It means our tree is still alive. Who's a great boulder, huh? Huh? You are! Yes, you are, Boulder. My favorite boulder. Actually, I don't really have favorite boulders. It's not a good idea to tell them that. The boulders would get jealous. Mold. wonder what it tastes like. It's so nasty. This is strange. Shouldn't the roots be greener? This far down below? More alive? A mold growth. The thicket here is impenetrable. I should have paid more attention during Gardening 101. Centrani was called a gardener by Cosmeo Smith. I'm guessing that is... Oh! Hello. I'm glad that wasn't a larger rat. That would have been a nasty surprise. Uh-oh. Alright, good. Split up. Just kind of good. I'm guessing he had a task form of that sort earlier. I'm guessing that tending to the tree is what they're referring to as gardening. I'm guessing as well it's growing food for the city that we find ourselves living within. Yes, good work, Centrani, criticaling it for 2 points of damage. How's our dagger, by the way? Okay, so I talked about this briefly in the last episode. Note that our tiny dagger is now doing 2 through 2 damage. I think that's because our sovereign has increased now to 20%, and we are now a beginner when it comes to actual slugging it out with things in melee. I just should try and avoid the rats, and whatever else lives here. Unfortunately, Centrani, I can't do that. Because if I just try to skip them, what will end up happening is you will get pinned, and then be forced to defend yourself in a dead end, or who knows what, and you're going to likely die. A rusty pipe. A short plumbing pipe covered in rust. Great design. Bad materials. Ah, that reminds me of myself in architecture school. Didn't have any money. Couldn't afford most of like the fancy ink pens or supplies back then. I had some great ideas, and they didn't come out. They didn't look very good on the blueprints because of that, unfortunately. But my teachers understood. Well, at least some of them, and were willing to forgive my my art, as it were. Better not touch that very inviting mold. Delicious mold. Lethal if ingested. I feel a current coming from somewhere close. Giant purple rat. Woo, that was close. Last time we got hit by a giant brown rat, we took a substantial amount of damage. How much did we take? Something like, I think it was 9 points of damage. Oh, that was really rough. I can hear more rats down here, but I don't see anything. Rats can move directly through those curtains, as can other things. So the curtains are more a defense for the rats than something to help us out. More mold. Nothing down here but a dead end. So, as you've seen by now, creatures do not have any experience points. If we want to kill them in order to improve ourselves, we're working on these stats by doing so, and hoping that something drops from them, effectively. Ooh, a little rat. We can still hit you through that. Oh, we killed you! With one hit, you must have been weakened. Oh, that's interesting. Flew right over it. Either we missed, or the little rat is too low to the ground, and our magic attack just won't hit it. Oh, this is not easy to see here, but if you look at our map down here, notice what we just walked through. This is the first of the very many illusionary walls this game possesses. You can just barely actually see the outline of the curtain through it. Illusionary walls in this game are translucent, very slightly, but if you know once you recognize that, you can actually see the coloring, such as this one right here. See the roots right there? That's a little bit faint compared to the rest of the roots. There's an illusionary wall here as well. What a large boulder. And we get a bottle of explosive liquid. A corked bottle that's better not to drink from. And a shank. A not rusty shank. Metal shank. Crooked and dented. Not very balanced. Still, as long as you don't hold it by its edge. I should actually keep using this still scum. But this gives us an offhand weapon that does more damage than our tiny dagger does. 2 through 4 instead of 2 through 2. I think there's 1 or 2 more illusionary walls down in this area of the Underroots, if I recall correctly. A little rat. I guess you can still occasionally inflict 0 damage with the weapon. That must be us effectively missing, is my guess. Anyway, the equipment I was tasked to find should be around here. Here's a small... oh, wow! That was close. Alright, move out of the way. Clever. Wow. I think this ambushed us effectively. Ooh, giant purple rat. Just one of you, though? Look at the dead body. So someone went adventuring down here. If you are under that ceiling when it crumbles, you will take a little bit of damage. So we're going to avoid it at the moment and look around. More bandages. I'm holding on to some of this rusty equipment in order to use it like for pressure plate purposes. But I don't actually intend to wield any of the rusty items at this point. That still scum is very effective at eliminating the enemies here. Great design, bad materials. A scaffold. There's a black and white label with unknown symbols and a word. Subrotoflax. I'm not sure if that means anything, that name, or what that could be referring to. I get the feeling that's either an inside joke or a reference to something that I completely miss. I'm doomed. Looks like it's raining stones. What could go wrong? I should stop talking to myself. It's unnerving. A niche in the wall. Must be the deluxe model. I love stuff like that. Reminds me of some of the puns from the Quest for Glory series ages ago. Now, I'm going to be just ignoring walls that I do not believe have anything of interest on them. Normally, when I'm playing this game, I'm like looking left and right at the walls to see if there's anything noteworthy on them. For example, this one. This is a small lever, which I believe will open this door. But I'm going to leave that there at the moment, because I saw a pressure plate. And we'll go ahead and put something on it. Another Subrotoflax written there, same text as before. I guess we can leave some bandages on this one. That shut the door behind us, but likely opened a different door. Yep, this one. More delicious lethal mold. Looks very scaffoldy. I'm guessing the equipment we need is in something like that. I guess we can go into it. Another platform. I heard a door open or shut somewhere. A knife! Knife. Very sharp knife. Better than our tiny dagger. I will totally make that trade. The best niche in the wall that money can buy. Thankfully, we got it for free. Well, I'm going to leave the tiny knife here rather than the bunch of leaves that is arguably we can utilize. And this plate is a bit different than other plates I've seen because it doesn't care if you've put something on it. Stepping on it just opens and shuts that door. Okay, so we have a door down there that didn't open, but I know how to get it open. We go this way. Being very careful that we don't encounter a giant rat. I don't see anything down here. But this is in fact not a normal wall. You even can, now that I'm looking at it like very closely, you can tell the color change. Like you can see it just faintly. Another bunch of Pachanti leaves. The latest cry in a matter of niches. And here's a lever. If I'm not mistaken, that lever will open the door that we passed by earlier. A sandalwood shield. 8 stamina and +3 protection. That's pretty darn good. No penalties with it. I don't imagine though Citrani will be wanting to tank creatures, but if we get pinned into a corner, we could quickly maybe get that on us to block attacks. It's trying looking pretty good. You're carrying out of this place a bunch of bandages, fruit, leaves, lots of water flasks. You've got a Molotov cocktail, effectively. Looking pretty good. Oh, I see you, gigantic rat. I like that I can swing my dagger even as the rat is, I'm sorry, even as our magic is hitting the rat. Fun little puzzle, this one. Let's see. Leave this behind. There we go. I remember being a little confused about this puzzle. It took me like maybe 2 minutes to solve this originally. Another Sobrato. And a ring. Gold ring. +2 agility, -1 mana. +18 stamina, -2 protection. A gold ring, a gold ring! Oh, it's fake. Oh, that sucks. I find that items with extra stamina and agility are designed to be worn by those who are missile oriented, ranged units, companions, or Citrani. Citrani's a bit of a blank slate. You can kind of build him however you would like him, what you want his focus to be. He does have more agility than anything else, so he kind of wants to be using ranged weaponry, which makes sense for him, because he seems a bit, well, he is a bit of a coward. Here I am all heroic and no one around to see it! Here's an old scaffold. Looks like a curtain fell down here. Sweet fruit. We'll take our sweet fruit. Arguably, that's better for you than the roll of bandages, so we'll just leave that behind. A niche adorned with poisonous berries. Very tasteful. You can't actually eat the berries. I see you, giant purple rat. me. I'm just going to go and grab that rock really quick from underneath those falling rocks. Do we go that way? Not yet. I can see something moving back there. It doesn't sound like a rat. There's more than rats living down here, as we will very soon see. Well, I don't see anything around there. So let's go ahead and open up this passage. Hello, little rat. Hey! Is that in the alcove? Looks like we found the rebreather mask. Look here! A rebreather mask is found. Search for the desert vest. Rebreather mask, +1 agility, +1 prot. Your basic air filter for desert dust. Made by dome people, and not exactly efficient. But who in his sane mind would really want to wander the desert for long, right? I know what's on the other side of that. And I guess I'll summarize really quick. This is a quick way to get back to the staircase that we entered this level from. But there's a very nasty creature on the other side of that to my knowledge cannot be defeated. I guess we could try. But I don't think you could hurt it at all. I'm like 95% that we can. And we have to start just running around. And it's a bit of a tricky, it's a tricky little room to navigate in over there. Unleash, very standard, like more sweet fruit. I prefer the sweet fruit over my bandages. I actually think I prefer the bandages over the leaves. I want to leave some space so that we can actually pick up other things. And I don't want to, like, right now we're carrying 10 slots worth of hit point recovery items. 9 slots of hit point recovery items. And we don't really need that many of them. We'll probably have to make some decisions soon about what we want to leave behind. Oh! Here's another lever of sorts. Here's something like squishing. Well, that's awful looking. It's a centipede. I hear another one. Let's try to get... Actually, let's have some leaves to get my stamina back up in case it decides to investigate what was making sound down here. Some mushrooms down here, at least. A painful way to recover some of your mana. But since we don't really have a lot of other ways to do it, we will take them. So that is basically a secret button here. And I think that opened this door. You can actually see which door is open based upon which buttons you press, assuming that you have them revealed on your map. Oh, hello. Another centipede. Don't go into the dead end, Tim. Cover some of our mana. Alright, well, so Trani's looks like he's doing a fairly good job of exploring all the underroots. I should pay him extra for going down here and clearing this place out. A tattered cloak. The number of stabbing holes here doesn't inspire the highest confidence. Good for cases of heavy Wow, perspiration, though. That's disgusting. But like most item descriptions in this game. Well, this is basically connected. And I guess we can take a peek at this to show you what is on the other side of that door, for completion's sake, quite literally. But first, we didn't pull this lever. Not quite a centipede. Sandcrawler. I don't think we want to stand in front of it. Yes! Good work, Tim. Sandcrawler carrion taken. A pulpy carcass that tells the world that a sandcrawler was there. This is used for an achievement and an interesting way to solve a puzzle later on in the game that I've discovered, but I'm going to leave it here. I don't think I'm going to show that. Funny. It's a very funny encounter, and I could take it, but no. Actually, that encounter can be done one of several ways. Crap, what is that thing? I think that's supposed to be Centrani remarking about the Sandcrawler, but I have a habit of not going into rooms and waiting a few seconds to make sure nothing's walking around in them. A piece of raw meat, we'll just leave that there. And the desert vest that is on the ground here. Finally, the counselor's desert gear. Not too bad in shape, but not impressive either. What could the clerk expect anyway? Yes, Citrani considers, the mask and suit are desert-proof, but they offer no protection against all other dangers. He needs weapons and some defense. Best to get back to the entrance to see the guard for that. So we can skip leaving the dungeon and go walking out and go directly to the guard, or we can continue to explore. We'll continue to explore just so I can talk to you guys and show you that one room. Also because I'd like to save the game before we leave. So the desert vest is -1 agility, +1 mana, and +2 prot. So the rebreather masks +1 agility is countered by this one's. Your totals are displayed in these pluses. So if we didn't have that suit of armor on, this shows +4 for our agility. But with it on, it shows +3. You can see as well that we earn +1 more mana from having that suit on. There are items that will also improve your hit points in a similar fashion. Okay, so let's show you fine folks what's beyond that one room. We just saw something move off to the side. It is a massive mutated rat, and we cannot do any damage to it. Let's see if this concoction will work. No damage even with the grenade. Alright, well then, our only hope is to skirt around it. Going down here to do so is a bad idea because we have no way to get around the creature. We should go back to this area. We could try scooting around it here, but I want a little more distance from it. I don't think I've allowed this creature to ever hit me It is a bit slow compared to other things. I'm imagining that it could potentially one-hit kill you. We can probably scoot around it here. Okay, and that's how we can just avoid it. No way I'm fighting that! That's supposed to be Citrani talking about the giant rat we just saw. Gee, I want to keep the sweet fruit. Let's leave the bandages here instead. Nothing in the niche, unfortunately. And everyone, I think that's all there is to the Underroots. Now we just have to make our way back up to the guard. Let him know that we have the things. We'll hopefully get paid some amount of funds with that promissory note. And then get the heck out of here. Well, not get the heck out of here, and then you'll have to leave. Unless we can somehow convince Cosmeo Smith that he should let us stay, and that someone else would be better suited to the task he wants us to complete. Alright, everyone. So, I guess I'll quick save here. I already have a save of a Citrani having beaten the Underroots with everything that I could find within it. So, I guess, why am I even telling you this? I don't know, viewer. Normally, I would make a hard save at this point for the Let's Play, but I already have one. I think that Citrani might have a different loadout in his equipment, but I'm going to go forward here, and if I end up needing to reload from this particular save file, I won't be able to, because I'm going to quick save over it. So I might load the other one, in which case the equipment might be a little different, just as a heads up. The guard waits casually for Citrani at the entrance. Have you collected your desert suit and rebreather mask, clerk? Yes. Let's go. You Citrani? A youngster, donning the same garbs as the clerk, another of Brownleaf's assistants probably, is running to him, as he and the guard climb the catwalk up from the Underroots. This letter for you, from the counselor. Compose yourself, apprentice. I can't hear you and Mr. Panting. Then Citrani quickly snatches a note, the letter of credit he was promised. Why are you meeting us here, noob? I expected the counselor wanted to hear about my findings in the Underroots. Hey, look at me, I'm a VIP. The boy looks at the clerk with distaste, then recites, Counselor Smith regrets not being able to listen to the report of the undoubtedly heroic adventure of the clerk, etc., but he's busy with the most important foreigners. Then I need to attend for sure. I'm a most important clerk. Actually, not that I know. And you are required to go prepare for your mission out of the wall. Imagine all the reports of amazing adventures you will tell. If you ever get back alive, that is. The boy scampers away on a thin rope bridge, pausing just once in its middle to turn back and mockingly show his tongue to the companions. Youngsters. Worse than bugs on trees and no respect at all. Resuming all his professional pomp and gravity, the clerk opens the note and scrolls through it, avidly searching for the numbers. He fails to suppress disappointment when he finds them. Cheapskates! With less money to spend than what he hoped for, the clerk considers what to do. To spend all day at the different marketing stalls himself, haggling and talking with sellers, or to task the guard to purchase the items he thinks best for the journey, based on his experience outside the dome. Let me think more. Citrani thinks. The choice is simple. Either he lets the guard buy random stuff while he takes a nap, or he does the shopping by himself. So, I think we will do the shopping by ourselves, but there is nothing wrong if you want the guard to go and purchase random crap for you instead. It could lead to some interesting adventures, and it will also lead to something a bit different in a way, I don't want to ruin it for you in case you decide to play this game. But, give me long dialogues. I'm not in a hurry. Centrani finds himself again at the crossroads of the marketplace, considering where to go next. Alright, so, I'm gonna, perhaps a little bit spoilery, but I'm gonna tell you a little bit about this section, because I thought it was really interesting. The order, from what I can tell, that you approach these different places may have time elapse between them. So if we go to the woodworker perch first, things might be different in one of the other areas, and as you spend this letter of credit, things change in these other areas as well. You can visit areas multiple times, and if you're going to play this game the first time, you might want to consider doing that. But things can play out differently depending upon where you go and the order at which you visit them. I'm going to go and do something very specific because I wanted to get 2 specific companions for this Let's Play. I haven't seen anyone else on YouTube get these 2 companions to my knowledge, but there aren't very many people up here on YouTube who have played through this game. So, if nothing else, you will see these 2 companions that I haven't seen anywhere else here. They're a bit tricky to get, but I want them. So, okay, so with all that said, we're going to go to... Okay, well, I guess let's describe all this stuff first. The trading goods store will have some decent equipment for you if you want to... how to describe this as well? Let's just do this. Let's go to different places. So I'm going to go to a place and get a very particular item, which is used only to give you the possibility to have a very specific companion with you in your adventure. If you don't have this item, you will not be able to unlock the dialogue required to get this companion, and you still have to properly navigate through the dialogue tree to get that companion to join you. It is rather difficult, and I messed it up in every single way imaginable when I did arrive there. I have to reload the game like 15 times. I have to see the wrong answer over and over and over again, and over and over and over again, but not this time. Anyway, I'm babbling. So we're going to go to the Corner of the Lost and Founds. Oh, a customer. What can I interest you in, sir? Maybe some newly found decrepit yet perfectly usable water faucet? A freshly painted almost hole-free bucket? Some of my trademarked one-hit hammers? Only the most recent oldies around the tree find their ways to my cozy shop. Feel free to browse. You seem pretty cheerful today, Junkmaster. What gives? Just a good deal with another customer is all. Can I be blessed to make a good barter with you too, sir? What wondrous third-hand item on its last leg did you manage to sell him? Comer's face is a mix of smiles and uncertainty. Oh, I have just been visited early today by a fascinating character. A good client, too. He borrowed some very good ore for a little greenish stone of no value. A curiosity at best, that I acquired some weeks ago. Centrani is about to inquire about the stone, but his attention is captured by a batch of recently dug, almost complete, left-handed handkerchiefs. So, what do you have for sale this week? Well, it depends, of course, on what you want to trade in. The guard produces the Brownleaf's credit letter, and Cormer's inquiring grimace melts in ample and adamant smile. Sure, for my most honored customers, only the best in my storage. I can hardly contain my excitement. I have here, just recently liberated from a previous owner who treated it as his prized possession, this cloak that grants a degree of concealment because of its macular wood fiber, with just minor defects due to stabbing, probably. Or a not very edgy but really shiny bronze hatchet. Or, and speaking of weapons, what is there to say about this one-hit hammer that has not been said before? The one-hit hammer does, like, an incredible amount of damage, if I recall correctly, by one time trading for it. and it breaks right after you use it. It does something like 45 damage, if I recall, or some incredible amount of damage to almost one-hit kill anything, but you only get to use it once. Ah, but I see that you, sirs, are more of a delicate, artful nature. Then please take a look at this magnificent water faucet. Only the water source is not included. But if you do actually find one, a water source, then what you really need is this almost bucket. Almost whole free. So, esteemed customers, what will it be? So, it is a flea market, and everything is third hand, and not very good. Not very good. We could leave here and go to someplace else and see if we could purchase something a little bit better, and then come back here and hope some of this stuff is still here and trade for something else. My mind is knowing. No, let's just do the thing I said I was going to do. So, the item I want from this shop in order to get a very specific companion is going to be the water faucet. I'm sure I'll find water. I'll have the faucet. Centrani tries a couple of times to turn the faucet open. Since nothing comes out of it, a bit disappointed, he packs it away amongst his possessions and leaves for the market. Alright, that is a useless item. It doesn't help us in combat in any way. We can't use it to cast spells. We can't use it as a weapon. We can't throw it at... Well, I guess we could throw it at something and do like 1 point of damage with it. But the only purpose of that item is to unlock a character we'll get later on, as far as I'm aware. We might have a little bit of money left over. We could try trading for something else. Let's go to the trading goods store. There's a sweet smell of fruits all along the alley, for here are the banquets of vegetable vendors selling the few products that the sandy land inside the dome lets them cultivate. Sentry strides to the general goods store, if only to get out of the rotting stench coming from a basket of pests-infested tomatoes. Hi, handsome. Are you looking for some great bargains? The young woman throws a little balanced knife into the air, then deftly grabs it in mid-rotation, the blade pointing to Centrani. I have a still perfectly usable rusty pipe for a fun time bashing rats and possibly give them tetanus, a nasty shank, and even a pretty neat couple of sand slippers. Oh, I'll take slippers. They would look great on my elegant ankles. Made with care by slave workers for our customer satisfaction. Be advised that the city of Pentella frowns upon slavery and upon its competitor cities' working conditions. Exit to the marketplace. I think you have enough money to buy 2 things, but not enough to buy 2 of anything you would want. Depending upon where you go, some things cost more than others. We're never told how much money we actually have on the credit, nor how much things are worth. But when I've done this marketplace a few times, I've only ever been able to get 2 things. Buy 2 things. We'll try 2 more places before we head to the gate. Maybe 3. Let's go to the woodworker perch. Centrani is looking over his shoulder to the guard, treading with difficulty on the net of branches that take to the woodworker's perch. The place is just above the rest of the city, even higher than the councilmen's houses, amidst the younger and greener branches of Konami. The clerk grins at the awkwardness of his companion, but that's only a short distraction. The scorched plains that Centrani now can clearly see extending in all directions from the dome cloud his amusement. Soon, he'll have to travel there. What's with the face, boy? Knotty hands work on a piece of wood, coaxing it to bend, more than forcing it with tools. I come to say goodbye, Tom. I have to go out to the desert. The man puts down the wood. That's reason enough for a long face, okay. So I imagine you are looking for gear, or are you just here to waste a day watching down at the big city from my perch? The latter, I'm afraid. I've spent all the council's credit already. Tom laughs. Well then, I suppose I wouldn't have been able to provide you with what you need to survive there anyway. Feel free to rest for a while on the branch there. Best vista of the whole city. That said, the woodworker gets back to his work, and Centrani does indeed as was suggested. Only now the guard arrives panting on the perch, just in time for them to get back to the marketplace again. Yeah, we're out of credit. There's nothing left on it, so we can't purchase anything else from any of these locations. That said, though, maybe we can get some information from the hole's common room? Sounds like this is a watering hole. The common house is not the closest to Marjanov's Gate, which is the larger access to the city from the desert, but it is the larger one in the lower city. Nestled at some distance from Konami, it is usually the most crowded too, due to the thick brown liquid sapped from the smaller root of the two, Quimby, as it's called, which is the base for an appreciated quality of brew. Today, though, the room looks almost empty. A man with a thin, sickly scar gives a nervous nod to Citrani. Hello, Mikal. How's business, cousin? It's a riot, don't you see? Yeah, all fun and games. Where is everybody? No, seriously, where is everybody? Looking around idly in the large room, fixing on no one in particular, Mikal sighs slowly. Suppose you, of anybody, should know it's not the best of times to apply for a position in the console. Huh? What do you mean? Because you have to take your head out of the clouds. 2 poor harvests, the loss of the caravans to the raiders, we're this close to kick the bucket. For the people, someone has to take the blame for that. It distracts them from the starving. Bah, the Brownleaves have their best man in the lost caravans case. Suit yourself, kid, but understand it's not all fun and games. With all your garb and your guard, only a thin glass dome separates us from hell, and the reserves of food have thinned these last 10 years. Ah, that's old man talk. Hey, kiddo. The gorgeous tavern maid brushes a hand on the clerk's chin. Don't you let that mope of your cousin ruin your cheer. You know how he is when the Ricklers are not here to drink their pay. Oh, hello, Conalabeth. Would you marry me? Tempting? But I've had my share of councilmen already, and stately affairs are not so exciting. Mikal raises a brow, drying the glasses on a stool with a dirty rag. Yeah, sure, affairs. The maid laughs softly. Don't be jealous, Mick. You know you're my favorite. Then hushing her tone. But you know, Set, you should actually be careful these days. I am, full of care. I use precautions. Both Connie and Mikal look intently at some invisible insect at the ceiling. The insect is really interesting, probably, so the clerk and guard decide to give it the time to properly be studied and backtrack to the market. Alright, everyone. Now, we could visit all these locations a second or third time. There are some different things which are present at these locations, should you visit them in a different order or go back another time. But, well, in the hope that maybe some of you might pick up this game, and by that I mean if any of you do, I don't want to ruin some of the things that you could discover. So let's go to Marjanov's Gate. The sound and the sights become fewer and fewer. The voices turn to a hush with each step towards the glass wall. There's less people around, and wary, suspicious eyes that never linger on a face. Marjanov's Gate stands tall and proud in the suns, with its 3 foot of Konami's hardened wood separating the city from the never-ending desert. I like to look at this back here. So it looks like so that means the glass is 3 feet thick, too. And this is the hole in it, allowing entrance into it, I suppose. I'm guessing this is like an igloo entrance of sorts. The guards at the gate seem to be more jumpy than usual. Whether for what is outside or for what is inside the dome, that's anybody's guess. Clerk? Are you ready to get out? Does it matter? I should do this nevertheless. Open the gate. Alright, everyone. Before we head on out into the desert, a few things. Number 1, notice that our party management chest is sparkling, because we've picked up a few things. We have a mission note. If you need a reminder of how unfair life is, just read this. Move in backpack and middle click to read the note in the text box. The clerk bearer of this letter, blah blah, vested of the authority, Bentella, locate the missing caravan, not to return unsuccessful. In short, I'm screwed. Notice that we're taking a lot of damage standing out here, or would be if we weren't wearing our rebreather mask and our desert vest, providing 3 protection. The sand and wind being cast by it is doing up to 3 damage to us. Well, I think in proper Centrani Clerk style, it's gonna leave this piece of garbage here. It's been all spent anyway. We have a pair of sand slippers. +1 agility. Our current shoes have no benefits. Comfy dress, classic look. Perfect to keep your feet burn free. This is the first time I actually purchased them. I've not actually seen these before. I want to talk more about the slippers, but I will do so at a later point. Okay, so what else is there? Our water faucet. We don't have to take it out of the inventory, and arguably I shouldn't, but I'm going to try to make a beeline to grab 2 characters next, and I will need this in my inventory, I believe, or I can't get one of those characters. I keep clicking I to bring up this screen. A water faucet. Not that there's any plumbing around. Alright, well... yeah, I guess we'll leave the scum still. Let's get out of here. Okay, let's be serious. I shall speak out loud less from now on to avoid dust in my throat and unwanted attentions. I don't want to go. Centrani, I know, but you are the protagonist of a story you don't want to be in. Alright, everyone, and now we have a world map of all the areas we can explore. This is us, this token right here, in that cloak. Looks like we have a staff in our hand, trudging through the desert, and we get to choose which of these directions we want to go in. I'm going to take a very specific trail, because I want to get 2 people in my group, so to that end, let's go this way. You click on the paths, and your character will walk down them. It's no use. I'm doomed. Doomed! Oh, what's that? The clerk turns around. Oh, what's that? The clerk turns around as if someone was replying, but nobody did. The desert doesn't seem to be sympathetic to his struggle. In fact, it looks more bored, if anything. With its flat features, if you don't factor in all the dunes. Which I don't. They don't make it any more interesting, just longer. To the north, the sands go on as far as he can see, and way past the horizon. Forever. The never-ending sands. Nobody ever came back from there. And no one ever came from there, either. So all in all, a beautiful place to die for. Certain death is good enough of a reason for Centrani to conclude that no caravan was ever abducted that way. Feeling a little less doomed, the clerk resumes walking in some other direction. We have some sort of, looks like, gate with a strange pillar sticking out of it here. We can see a tree here and some rocks. There were trees down this way. Looks like there's a big cactus en route. There's something out here, judging by the question mark as well. Let's head south. On the off chance... Well, I know it's south, so we're going to go south. Here we go. The suns hit the surface of the desert hard, rising a dry haze from the sand as Centrani reaches a ruined metallic fence in the middle of nowhere. Look around. There's no sign of life anywhere, and the fence doesn't look like it's enclosing anything at all. There's a post here, and one there, brown metallic wire attached on one, free on the other end, and another broken fence a few steps beyond. Huh. This is so random. I wonder... Is this really an abandoned fence that once used to contain something? Nobody answers. It's like a giant hand has scattered these meaningless props in the landscape, like they are some form of abstract art or inscrutable inscrutable meaning. Or maybe, thinks Citrani with a shiver, that same giant hand has erased what it once drew, or what was here. With a sense of unease, the clerk decides to move on. This is a random encounter, everyone. This is not actually where we're walking to. We didn't reach it quite yet. The game has random encounters, and you might not see all of them. And in fact, I don't think I have, even though I've played the game for quite some time. Trees. And where there's trees, water. After long hours in a dust storm, there's a sudden clearing in the sky, and an oasis. Just when it seemed all strength was spent. And, of course, there is the old woman with a grim face between Citrani and the pool. Who are you? Me's Kalka. Afraid? No, me's not. Stupid. Ha! No, me is neither. You don't near, okay? No. But I'm really thirsty, and there's enough water for both of us there. The woman points the clerk's eyes to the wooden pole ending in a glass blade that's sitting on her lap. Cannot drink you. No, no. Citrani imagines that however impaired its wielder, that weapon looks vicious. And he's not feeling particularly skillful at dodging currently. What if we trade something in return for a skin of water? I have all. Very thing I can want. I can see that, but what if you want to visit your friends? Kauska has no friends. We can be friends, you and me. The woman narrows her eyes, letting her hand caress the blade's staff on her lap. You mean to be Kalka's friend? You too? Citrani is only too eager to confirm. Of course! Let's be friends. You, me, the water, best friends forever. Okay, says the woman standing up. Here starts friendship ritual. That said, she charges Citrani, staff in hand, blade pointed at his heart. Avoid being killed ritual. Let's go. Man, the things we do for friendship. Alright, everyone. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on. I'm not going to feel too bad about potentially spoiling some of this. If you want Kalka as a companion, as far as I'm aware, what I just did is the only way you can get a chance to get her as a companion. And I'm also going to do a little bit more spoily stuff. You can't have anyone else in your group either, from what I have discovered. At this point in the game, we could have had at least 2 other characters as potential additions to our group. Now, in this battle, there's actually some stuff lying around out here, so we're going to explore a little bit. And I'm going to talk a little bit about boots, or shoes, sneakers, stuff you put on your feet. Do you see this bush of rust flowers? Stepping on things like this will damage you, and your protection doesn't help you if it didn't come from your boots. But your boots, some boots have protection on them, and you can step on this to absorb the damage that is rolled. From how I think it works, the rust flowers or scraps of metal or whatever it is you step on that damages you as you walk over it, rolls randomly for its damage. I think it's anywhere from 0 to 4 damage. Most of the time you're going to get something. And so the boots will reduce that damage from you. Let me get some bandages. We will absolutely take some bandages. So we're out of the city. Nothing else around here. So I'm going to try to explore all of this. 3 damage. which means walking into these flowers a bit. That's quite a bit of damage. Let's, I'll have some sweet fruit. Now, did we get something called Dizzy? We did not. Okay. So, the sweet fruit just heals 5 hit points and 10 stamina. There was another sandcrawler here, by the way, as you guys probably noticed. I see a corpse there. I'm probably going to want to search that. You can always flee if, by the way, an encounter or an area or of the map or what have you, if you discover it, via the green icons here. That's a transition point. But we want to stay. This is a friendship ritual, after all. And there's Kalka. She's a bit confused. And while I want to go that way, I don't want her pinning us. So we'll leave her over there and we'll run down this way instead. Another sandcrawler. I hear another one somewhere as well. Our dagger is not the best weapon to use against these. They're armored. Okay, another one of them dead. I need to recover some mana to leave another sandcrawler. I am kind of tired, so I'm just going to dance around this one for a little bit. I don't know if I have this. I do have the stamina to cast it again. Now we're out of stamina. Darn it. Is there another mushroom lying around here somewhere we can find? No, but we might not need it. I wanted the, I want to lose a little bit of hit points so I have an excuse to, like, drink some water. Oh, good. Okay. Another sandcrawler defeated. They don't seem to bother Kalka, those sandcrawlers. They'll just ignore her. Oh, hey. A stone bag. More ammunition for our sling. Okay, so we can't make any more progress down in that direction from this side. I see another transition point over there. We actually can reach it if we want to run. Hey, oh, I was just looking to get another mushroom. So if you leave this area, you'll be given an option to stay if you wish instead of running. If you decide to stay, you will be put back outside the spot where you tried to transition out of the map from. It doesn't put you back in like the center of the map or something of the sort. Ooh. Something is over there. 2 somethings. A warble. This lets you cast fire magic, but we can't currently attune ourselves to it. Oh god. Kalka showed up. Good thing we were able to barely get away from her there. I want to explore the rest of this area before I kill her. On the off chance, ooh, there's something else useful here. Tim, that was quite a bit of damage you just took. Okay, let's look at the map really quick. So we have this area and that one. She's currently down around here. Oh, we have to walk across this again. Keep making mistakes about how I'm moving around. I'm gonna walk through it. It's just a dead end. Okay, so, I don't really want to use any more consumables, because we're down to just 5 of them now. So I'm going to cut the recording here, and wait for Citrani to regenerate. I'll be back, and I'll just tell you how much time has elapsed. So give me a few seconds. Alright guys, back. Took about 12 minutes. I could have just walked through this. Alright, well, here I am 12 minutes later now. What the heck? I think that these ones are dangerous, and they're not. There's no thorns and shards of metal seeing out of them, so I am not in danger when I walk through those. Anyway, we're back. Let's go ahead and say hello to Kalka. We'll hurt her a little bit. Move away. So the trick for the friendship ritual, it's a very interesting ritual to have, is that we need to prove to her that we can handle ourselves and potentially defeat her while not doing so. That was a bit awkward. I bumped into something behind me that I didn't think was there. Alright, I'm going to bring her down into this area so I can scoot past her. As you can see, she is also able to cast spells at us, hitting us with some sort of flame there. Good for her. Hey, a water skin, makes up for the one I used earlier. Nothing else up here. Let's check in this direction. This is very metagamey of me to do, by the way. And you don't feel like you have to do this. Like, I shouldn't do this. For some reason, I want to say there's some there's... Oh, hello, Kalka. How are you doing? Good to see you here. Excuse me while I run away from you again. I guess we'll just drink this twice. Once is fine at the moment. Here she comes. Woo! That was close. Good for her. She's wants to be hot friends, apparently. Ooh! Ow! Oh my God, Tim! I was talking in the last video how you got to be careful where you walk. Alright, and there's nothing there, so that was, ouch, just painful for no reason. Alright, and we've now explored everything here. So now I just see the magic Citrani is just kind of huddling behind the plants, trying not to be discovered. And I'll talk with you guys for a little bit, but I'm going to cut the recording again so I can let this life recover without too much worry. Just a few things I want to cover really quickly with you. About this encounter, really quick, and about transitioning. So, for Kalka, in case you're interested in getting her, you've just seen that you have to say those things, as far as I'm aware, to her if you want her as one of your companions. Don't feel like you need to get her. She's a decent companion. I liked having her the one time I've had her so far with my companions, but she's tricky to get. You do have to do this encounter with her. You have to say the exact things, as far as I'm aware, to her in the way I did it to get her. And she can be a hindrance and or a help depending upon where you go after you get her in your group. You also cannot have a companion, as far as I'm aware, with you when you get her in your group. Or at the very least, there's one character you can't have with you in your group if you attempt to persuade her to join you. The reason why I'm going to wait here and let my life recover is because when we go back to the main world map, if we go to some other location, our life and mana is not being restored, even though time is elapsing as we travel. It was a bit... I don't know how to describe it. I didn't think the game worked that way, but that's the way it works. And I don't want to use yet another one of my healing items in this battle, and I don't think I have to, especially now that I've effectively walked everywhere and seen the entire... Well, most of the entire map. I haven't been up here, so there might be something else up there for us to acquire. But I think whatever that is, I'm just going to leave it. In any case, so because we don't recover life as we move, I'm just going to kind of just sit here for a bit and let my life recover naturally. And when we're back up to almost full, I'll be back to start the recording again. So give me a few seconds. Alright everyone, I'm back. About another 6 minutes or so. Now, with this area practically all explored, let's go find Kalka. Oh, one more thing about this fight, by the way. This is a friendship ritual. It's not a murder ritual. Holy crap, there's something there. What is that, by the way? Sand Breather. -1 agility, +1 prot. An air-conditioned mask, making it easy to breathe in a normal dust storm. It's a common sight in the desert plains. Ours is actually better because it doesn't have a penalty to agility. This is a friendship ritual. It is not a murder ritual. Although it certainly feels like, you know, there's a fine line between love and hate. This ritual, really, like, is on the line. She's wearing some sort of protective gear, I see. Because we do not want to actually kill her. Which means that we don't want to use something like ice shards on her. Because if you accidentally kill her, she's dead. That's the end of her. So, on that same note, she will attempt to kill and defeat you. It's mostly about your friend. You want to be her friend. And the opposite, she's defending herself against that. That insult, I suppose, is what the way she's viewing it. This is a good spot to apparently fight her. Let's save the game. Oh, look at that 7 damage. Take it, Kalka. Look, we like you, okay? We want to be your friend. It so happens that, you know, you're also allowed to bring your friend water here. That with us too. You know, we'll all be good friends together. I like to imagine that Citrani actually is this this agile. Did it? Stop no more! Ritual is complete. The mad woman shows all of her teeth to the clerk in a wicked smile. Kalka and the ugly man from tree are friends now. Best of mates. Citrani pauses to gasp after the effort and considers a reply. Does that mean that you will stop trying to kill me? The woman's sneer becomes even greater when the clerk hesitates. Almost certainly, someday. Probably stunned by hearing something vaguely resembling a joke, Citrani mentally skips past the impending doom she represents. This cannot be worse than the disaster he's already in, right? The clerk shrugs his shoulders and starts walking, the nomad trotting along. Okay, there are some rules. First of all, if you are to travel with me, you have to do something about your body odor. And secondly, the clerk is still listing around rule number 47 when they disappear from sight beyond the horizon. Kalka joins our party, everyone. All right, a second character. Let's take a look. I don't think we're allowed to look at her stats from this screen, but here she is. So I'm going to do a little bit of inventory management. She's not able to cast that fire spell that we saw her casting earlier. She doesn't have a warble, but we have one we can give her if need be. We don't have anything to attune her, however, to it. In fact, we don't even have any air reagents either. So we'll give her both of these at the moment, and if we find either air or fire, we can attune her to that then. She's also wearing a pair of sand slippers, and she comes with a sling and a stone bag. She's a tunic and a bladed staff. The damage it does is 3 times 2. So that 4 through 13 damage is applied to 2 targets. It sweeps, in other words. So if the enemy is stacked, there's 2 of them present on the opposite tile. This will strike both of those enemies for 3 through 13 damage. Since she doesn't have a helmet on her, we'll give her that sand breather. She's wearing a pretty awful tunic, but we don't have any other chest armor, so she can keep that. She's not wearing a ring. This is more agility, minus mana, minus prot, plus stamina. We can't see what other stats she has, but we'll give her this ring in her inventory, but I'm not going to equip it on her at the moment. Alright, let's play a little longer, everyone. There's one more companion I want to get. Or actually, maybe we should stop here. Feels like I'm playing for close to an hour. Yeah, we'll stop here. We have been playing for close to an hour. Alright, everyone, so thank you guys for watching. So, hopefully, I will see you in the next one, where we will be getting another companion to join us. The max companions is 3. And so once this companion joins us, I'm hoping that we can get through the game with these 3 companions without any of them dying. Or losing them. Because that's possible through some events which transpire out here in these harsh deserts. But I'll see you guys in them in the next episode. Take care, guys, and thanks again for watching.